Hello and welcome to another episode of the Woollentwine Fibrestudio knitting podcast. My name is Jule and I'm the natural dyer and maker behind Woollentwine Fibrestudio, which is a small creative space located here in northern Germany where I play with natural yarns and natural dyes. Welcome back, and if you are new here, welcome to my podcast. This episode is not a knitting related episode, but again another shop update, colorway preview video, which I usually record before every shop update to show what will be available. To those of you who are new here, I like to do this because naturally dyed yarn is notoriously hard to photograph, and it can be tricky to really capture the colors. So I think in video form it's a bit easier to show what we'll have and what we dyed. And yeah, so that's why I'm making these videos, just to have a little bit of a summary of what's going to be available in the shop update. And it's just a bit easier than writing it all out, because I can imagine it would be kind of a really long novel almost of info if I would write all these things down. So I feel like the video format is a bit easier, both for me and for you to watch and to see the colors and be reminded of the hard facts around the bases and everything. So first of all, thank you so much for your warm welcome of my latest podcast episode. I'm really happy, and it really motivated me to go back to recording more of my knitting and everything. So thank you so much. I'm going to try and keep uploading more regularly in the future, if the summer allows and it's not too warm. But yeah, I'm going to keep you updated on my knitting. And yeah, with this video, I usually do it that way, that I tell the hard facts about the yarn bases that will be available in the update. Then I show you the colorways on each base, and then in the end I sum everything up and give you a bit of an info on how the shop update is going to be. And I will also add timestamps in the show notes, just so if there's something in particular that you're interested in, you can just jump through the little chapters and just watch the parts that are interesting to you. And I know I said last time that the last update, the May shop update, would be the last big one, but I ended up dyeing quite some yarn for this update. So but yeah, this one is definitely going to be the last really big shop update before the summer months. Also because I'm not going to necessarily take time off, but the problem is that in the summertime the dyeing process is even slower than it is in winter, because if you dye with yarns that are non-superwash, you have to wait for them, after dyeing and getting them heated up, you have to wait for them to fully cool down before taking them out of the pots and processing them further. And yeah, as you can imagine, in wintertime it's quite a bit easier. You can move them out, you can move the pots outside, you can open the windows and everything. But in summer, when it's so warm, it just takes a lot longer. And also I feel like it's not the time where you get all the really thick woolen sweaters out and you I don't know. I mean, at least in our northern hemisphere, it's not very the time to knit thick woolly sweaters. And so this update will be the last big one where we feature all our bases, and in the next updates we will kind of take some bases away. For example, the BFA Masham DK will have a little break over the summer months, and we will try to focus more on the lighter bases, and also will have less quantities, because the dyeing process is so much slower, and because I already have to prepare for the festive and winter season. And since this is my first proper year being a full-time yarn dyer, it's really weird to be preparing things for the winter in the summer, and I knew this would happen, and I knew that's just how it goes, right? Also for knitwear designers, they have to be getting their winter patterns ready in the summer to release them in winter and everything. But it's just really weird. Currently I'm sitting down thinking of projects for the for the autumn and for the winter season, and it's a bit hard to come up with things and colorways and such and projects, because yeah, here right now it's around 20 degrees Celsius and it's just warm, and I don't know, any fellow dyers and knitwear designers out there that find these situations kind of strange. But yeah, we will be focusing on projects for the busy winter season in the upcoming months already, and so we are going to just have one last big update with everything before going a bit into the summer mode, I would say. Yeah, as mentioned, the next shop update will be next Friday, so June the 17th at 8 p.m. GMT +2. And yeah, that's when all the yarn that I dyed and that I'm going to show you right now is going to go up in the shop. And yeah, without further ado, let me tell you a little bit of the yarn that we're going to have available. So in this update, we will be having our classic BFM Masham DK and 4-ply bases again, which is our classic non-superwash blue-faced Leicester and mid-brown Masham blend. And that one is available in 2 weights, so a fingering weight version, that's the BFM Masham 4-ply, and a DK version, that's the BFM Masham DK. And they are 240 meters per 100 grams for the DK and 400 meters per 100 grams for the 4-ply. And for the last couple of months we had very good experiences with dyeing the same colorways on both bases. So generally I'm going to show you the colorway once now, or the colorways, sorry. I'm going to show you the colorways once now, and they will be available on both bases. So yeah, in case you find something and you have a certain pattern in mind, you're able to get them both on the DK and the 4-ply base. We generally dyed 9 colorways on the BFM Masham bases, and some of them are classics that are return colorways right now, but we also have 4 new colorways that I'm really excited to share, because yeah, sometimes it's just hard to come up with new colorways if I'm kind of forcing myself to, because I'm feeling like, oh, I want to have something new, let's find a new colorway or something. But in the last couple of weeks the inspiration just really struck, and I had a few experiments and yeah, just really enjoyed creating a few new colorways. And so I can't wait to show them. So yeah, let's jump right into showing you the colorways. Okay, I'm going to start with the colorways that are going to be restocks that we had in the shop before, and then I'll move on to the new colorways that we'll have. But yeah, starting with the old classics, let's put it that way, we are going to restock our old favorite Caramel, which is just a lovely golden brown caramelly tone. And this one has been in pretty much every update in the last few months, and it seems to be a real favorite of yours. So yeah, I'm always trying to restock this one, and yeah, I just really love it. So this is Caramel. And then we have its lighter little brother or sister or whatever, that's Almond. And Almond is a warm beigey brown. That's just like a more neutral version of Caramel, not as saturated and rather slightly cooler in undertone. here are the both colorways together. So this is caramel and this is almond, the bottom. And then we'll also restock, because you are all asking for this colorway so often, and it's also very summery, so we're going to also restock our colorway Artichoke. And I feel like I say this in every yarn preview, but Artichoke is so hard to capture on camera. Don't know if you can see, but yeah, it's actually quite a bit more warm, I feel, in real life than it is on camera. But for some reason the camera is a bit, like, it's tricky to pick it up. Maybe I'll realize after editing that it's not that bad, but every time I see it in the camera screen I feel like, oh, this is a bit warmer in real life. But yeah, these are the three, so caramel, almond and artichoke. And then we'll have our two purple shades to be restocked. One of them being an old favorite as well, that's lavender. And this one is just a pretty, like, lavender lilac-y purple. But since it's dyed on a grey base, because the BFR Masham DK and 4-ply are grey yarns in their natural state, it has a slightly silvery undertone, which I really love. Is it getting too dark? No, I think it's okay. Let's see. But yeah, that was lavender. And then another one is making a comeback that we didn't have for a really long time. I don't even know if we've restocked it this year, or if the last restock of this colorway was in 2021 still. Might be. I'm not remembering it completely, but I remember that you all love this colorway very much. And this is Plum. And look at the glow of this colorway. It's just a very deep, cool purple tone. And it's just very beautiful, I feel. So yeah, this one is Plum. And compared to lavender, I always like to show the color families together so you can get an idea of how they play together, but these are Plum and lavender. And I feel they go very well together. So yeah, these are our 5 kind of classics that we're going to restock. Let me put the skeins down because I'm holding them all currently. And now we'll move on to the new colorways, which I really enjoyed making. I don't know, it was just really lovely. But yeah, let's start with the first one. This one is Fawn. And it's like a light orangey brown. But if you would compare it to our other more rusty orange brown maple leaf that we stock regularly, it's quite a bit lighter. It's more like, it inspired, like, also the name is inspired by like fawn colored alpaca fleeces, so that was the inspiration behind the colorway and the name. And so yeah, it's quite a bit lighter, like an alpaca, a fawn colored alpaca fleece, I feel. But this is not an alpaca yarn, so don't get confused at this point. But yeah, this is Fawn, and I think it's just a very beautiful, very versatile wearable color. Then next up we'll have Elder, and this is another purplish shade, but it's significantly more red-brown in undertone than, for example, Plum is. And let me show them together, because I think that gives a little bit of a better idea. So yeah, you can see it's quite a bit more on the brown berry red side compared to plum. And it totally reminded me of elderberries, which is why this colorway is called Elder. And I just love it. Some of you might remember our colorway Raisin, which is a really deep dark berry tone. I don't have a skein here to show you the comparison, but Raisin and our Mulberry, this is the other kind of purpley berry toned family that we sometimes stock. And if you have one of those colorways, they are significantly more red than this one. So Elder is pretty much like the in-between of our Raisin and Mulberry color family and Plum. Like, it seems as if Plum and Raisin had a baby. That would be Elder. And since I absolutely love these kind of brownish berry toned shades, I just can't stop making them. But yeah, this is just, I just love this one. It's Elder. And after showing you so many kind of darkish colorways, I wanted to show you something a little bit more bright. And this is the new colorway Raspberry, which is quite a warm pink, but it really shows the little gray hairs of the base very well, which is what I love about this colorway. So yeah, this is Raspberry. I would say in real life it's even a touch more saturated, and it also has a little bit of a variegation. I don't know if that picks up on camera, but it has a little bit, some lighter and some darker spots, which I think makes this colorway very lively and very nice. And then we have one more colorway that I also really love, and that's in the same kind of color family. And this one is Rose Quartz. And it's like the lighter sister of Raspberry. It's like a very light, warmish kind of dusty pink. And I really love this colorway. Again, some of you might know our classic pink colorway Mountain Rose. And even though I unfortunately can't show it right now because it's sold out, it's, if you would compare the two, Mountain Rose is significantly cooler and Rose Quartz is lighter in color and more warmish in undertone. That's how I would describe the difference between them. So, yeah. This is Rose Quartz. And yeah, I think this is it with the new colorways. I can show them all together one more time. I also think that that's on the, I think, left side from what you're watching, or is it the right side? Gosh, I'm really bad at these things, sorry. But I think that Elder and the pink family, so Elder and Raspberry and Rose Quartz, look really pretty together. Look at these. This is pretty much berry pink dreams. Let me show them maybe this way. I really love them together. So yeah, these are the colorways that we designed and that are available for the first time in this shop update. And yeah, whenever you need any help choosing colorways or choosing color combos, because I mean I can only show so many in this preview, but if you need help with the previews, with the color combinations, feel free to email me and I'm going to help gladly. But I think so far this is it for the colors on BFM Masham. As mentioned, they are going to be available on both weights, so the 4-ply and the DK weight. I showed you the 4-ply now, so the DK is of course looks a little bit different because the yarn is significantly thicker. But the colorways should be pretty much the same, so yeah, that's how you can imagine everything. And wow, I'm just seeing this combination again, and also without the raspberry. Look at them. Ah, just such a pretty combo. I can totally imagine a colorwork sweater in these. But yeah, enough rambles about the BFM Masham colorways. I'm going to jump to the next section now. So, for the next yarn base that we're going to have available in the next update, it's our Corriedale sock, which is a non-superwash and plastic-free sock yarn out of 100% Corriedale fibers. And yeah, this time went off the shelf. This base went off the shelves really fast last time, and I had some requests for more of the summery colors, and so I restocked some old favorites and also dyed some new colorways for the summery shades. And we're going to have quite a few solids, so like 1 colored skeins, and then we'll have 3 multicolored colorways that I just really love and that I can't wait to show you. But we're going to start out with the solid colorways on Corriedale sock. I should maybe mention that this yarn has a 400 meter per 100 grams as well, and it has a slightly higher twist than a regular 4-ply yarn would have, just to make up for just to make it suitable for sock knitting and to make it more hard wearing on socks. Yeah, maybe I shouldn't ramble any longer and let's jump right into the colorways. So, for Corriedale sock, let me begin with the restocks of our classics as well, and then move on to the new colorways. And the first one that we're going to restock, that we have been restocking in the last few updates already because you all seem to love it a lot, and that one is Shell. And Shell is kind of a grey with a pink purple sheen. I don't know if that makes sense, but it's kind of a hybrid between a neutral and a purple, I would say. And I just really like it because it goes with so many things. It's very versatile. But yeah, that one is Shell. I'm not sure if it's a little bit blown out because I would say it's a touch more saturated in real life. But I'll see if I can hold it with something else later to show you. And then we have another classic that you all really seem to love, and that one is Raisin. It's a deep dark berry, I would say, and with a little bit of a brown red undertone, and yeah, that's pretty much how I would describe it. So that one is Raisin, and let me see if I can hold them together so you can see the colors more accurately. It's a little blown out. The light is really strange today, so I hope it will be possible to see how they actually look after all. But yeah, these are Raisin and Shell. And then in the kind of berry rosy toned family, we will also restock our colorway Rosewood, which is more of a brownish taupey pink, I would say. Very muted and very wearable as well. And Rosewood is one of those colorways that always fascinates me so much because I mean, even though I'm using the same dye recipe every time and I'm trying to be very strict about how I repeat my dye process and everything, the color kind of changes every time I dye this. Sometimes it's a bit more berry undertone, like a little bit cooler. Sometimes it's a bit warmer and more brownish and more muted. It's really funny, and I would say this go is quite a bit more dusty and brownish compared to the one we had in the last update, which was more berry-ish. So yeah, just funny how natural dyes can be so different each time. But yeah, this is the Rosewood colorway, and these are the 3 kind of like rosy tones that we're going to restock in this update. So Shell, Rosewood and Raisin. And then we're also going to restock this colorway that's called Dove. And that's pretty much a bluish gray with a silvery undertone. And I think this one is also one of the colorways that is very easy to combine with the other ones we're dyeing. Yeah. Speaking of colorways we can combine, I have one that's actually super easy to combine with pretty much everything, and that one is Cloud. And Cloud is a very light neutral, but it's not white. Even though it might look slightly white, it's not. It's like an off-white, but with a completely balanced neutral undertone. It might look a tiny bit yellowish in the camera, but it definitely is not. It's more on the completely neutral side. And I think this one is super easy to combine with other colorways. I think I'm going a little bit dark here. Let me see if I can brighten this up a little bit. Oh, is it too bright now? I'm never sure. Oh, this is so tricky sometimes, but I'm not going to complain about it anymore. But yeah, Cloud is super easy to combine with pretty much all our colorways. Like for example, Rosewood, Raisin and Cloud. Let me put it into the middle so it's not so blown out. But yeah, it's pretty much going very well with everything. And yeah, if you would need like one filler color in let's say like a Colorwork shawl or something, Cloud is probably the one that you can put into any color combination. Yeah, but I think that was it for the colorways that we're going to restock. Yes, and now I'm going to show you the new ones. But yeah, we have 7 new colorways on the Corriedale sock base, 4 of them being solids and 3 of them being multicolored. And I'm going to start out with the solid ones. And the first colorway I'm going to show you is our colorway Periwinkle. And this is a coolish lilac-y purple with a tiny bit of variegation in it, which I really like. You see here a couple of lighter parts and then some darker bits. So yeah, this one is Periwinkle. And maybe I should show it in comparison to Cloud and Shell, just so you can see the more or less purpleness of them 3 together. So this one is Dove, this one is Periwinkle, and this is Shell. So Shell is indeed very neutral, which you can see in this comparison, I feel. But yeah, this one is the new one, Periwinkle, and I think it's just really summery and yeah, reminds me of little periwinkle blossoms, I feel. But yeah, Periwinkle. And then we have one colorway that I think is actually going really well with it. It's giving me kind of ice cream vibes with the Periwinkle. I'm going to show you in a bit. But this one is Vanilla. And it's a super light, buttery yellow shade. but I really like. It's even a little less saturated than on camera, I would say. But yeah, this is vanilla, and look at vanilla and periwinkle together. This is so cute. It looks kind of ice cream unicorn like. Oh, and maybe we can complete this look with one colorway that I showed you a little sneak peek about on Instagram recently when it was still drying, and it was really funny because it immediately reminded me of a rosé champagne. And ever since I typed that into posting it into my stories, I had Champagne Supernova by Oasis in my head for forever, and I felt like Liam Gallagher was kind of hunting me. I don't know, it was just like, oh, it didn't go out of my head ever since. So guess how I had to call this colorway. This one is Champagne Supernova, and it's pretty much a champagne beige rosé, and I really hope the light is not blowing it out too much because it's really pretty. And yep, this is Champagne Supernova. And I think this completes the kind of pastel palette with periwinkle and vanilla quite well. And I also really love it with our other kind of like pastel or very light shades such as Shell and Cloud. I love this combination. Or even if you wanted a touch more color with Rosewood. Let me put it this way. I really like this combination. So this is Champagne Supernova, Shell and our Rosewood colorway. So last but not least, we have one colorway that's a little less pastel-y but rather a little bit more punchy. And it's this one. And I decided to call this one Buttercup, because it's a tiny bit more warmish in undertone than our Dandelion colorway, so I feel like it definitely needed another name that's a bit more warmish. So yeah, this one is Buttercup. And that is it for our solids, I feel. But for the multicolors on Corriedale sock, I felt like doing something fun and a little bit more warm and summery. And so we started, let's start with this one. This one is Tangerine. And it's kind of, I feel like it's really blown out right now. I'm a bit confused why that is. But this is Tangerine, and it's dyed on a very light creamy yellow base with some orangey red speckles. And yeah, very fresh and summery, I feel. And staying in this kind of fresh and summery color family, we also dyed this colorway that's called Sunbeam. It also has a slightly orangey undertone, and those, I don't know if you can see them, but those red and yellow parts in the skeins. Is it possible to see it here? And that totally reminded me of like a sunbeam. So that's why it's called this way. Let me try to show it with my other hand so you can also see the back of the skein. So yeah, that is Sunbeam. And then we have one last colorway that's a bit more on the cooler side in the shades. And this is Aurora. I I cannot really pronounce it well in English, but I think it's Aurora. Because it really reminded me of Aurora Borealis in the northern hemisphere, northern Scandinavian countries, where you can actually see them, the northern lights. I really wish to see one day, but until then I have to be okay with just dyeing yarn inspired by it. So yeah, that one is Aurora, and yeah, I think they all three together, they are a really pretty combo. So yeah, this is Tangerine, in the middle we have the Aurora, and on the right it's Sunbeam. And that is it for our colorways on the Corriedale sock base. But it's not the last thing that we'll have in this update, and so I'm going to jump to the next section now. Okay, and for the last section of the video, I wanted to announce something very exciting, because if you've been following along for a while, you know that we recently released our first custom-made limited unspun yarn, which I was very happy about, and there is a whole dedicated video to that yarn that I recorded when I first released it. And I'm going to link that one to the little eye, just so you can watch it in case, because there's all the detailed info on this yarn, like swatches, amounts. I'm showing a sample I knitted out of this yarn, and I'm chatting you through the whole production process and everything. And because that video, I think it's almost an hour long or even longer. And I'm not going to cover all the info in this video again, because yeah, then we'll have a whole afternoon of video footage. But yeah, I would recommend watching that video in case you're interested in it. But yeah, we're going to restock it in this update, and the yarn is called Thrive. And yeah, I initially planned to restock this one in the fall only, but ever since I've got a lot of requests on restocking it a little bit sooner, I decided to restock it in this update. And I know there was a lot of enthusiasm around this yarn last time I had it, and so I want to be transparent and let you know that this second batch is the last batch I'll have of this spinning batch. I don't know how it's called in English, but yeah, this is the last of the Thrive yarn in these colorways. I won't get it back in this exact same way, and so yeah, as you might have read in the newsletter that I just sent out with this video and to announce it, I'm really excited to restock, and I'm so excited that you are so happy about it, and that there's so much demand for it, and that so many people are interested in this yarn. But it's also kind of sad to part with this, because I'm covering it in this in the dedicated video that I'm going to link more in depth. But the production process took me almost 2 years, and when I had it in my hands for the first time, it was just, yeah, something very special, I have to say. And so parting with it finally, now after this update, like, it feels a little sad. Of course I cannot keep it all, because I have to, I mean, I want to give it to all of you, and I want you to be able to knit with it and everything. But yeah, it's like, you know, I've worked on this for a really long time, and yeah, letting it go is a tiny bit of a tear in my eye. But of course I want to give it to you folks, and it's maybe a bit pathetic to talk about this, but yeah, what I wanted to say is that this is going to be the last batch, so if you are interested in this yarn, it's not coming back in this exact same way. It's a limited yarn, and I cannot restock it anytime again. So yeah, this is kind of the last chance to get this yarn if you're interested in it. So yeah. So yeah, let me just give you a little bit of a reminder on what's this all about. Am I getting really bright again? Yeah. So just to give you a little reminder, these are the two colorways of our Unspun yarn Thrive, and the lighter gray is called Breeze, and the darker one is called Storm Cloud, and they are both just natural sheepy colors, no added dyes or anything, and they smell so nice and sheepy. And they come in 100-gram plates, both of them, and yeah, not only in 100 grams, but I'm going to tell you a bit more of a like a special later. But yeah, the regular format this comes in is a 100-gram plate, and these are the two colorways. And about the blend and how I got it spun here in Germany at a small mill and everything, it's all in the dedicated video about it. So as mentioned, I'm not going to go in depth about it. Also, feel free to watch that video if you want to know how much to order or what needle sizes it can be knitted with, because I have a lot of swatches that I'm showing in that video, and also a lot of pattern suggestions. So in case you want some inspiration on what to knit with this yarn, you can just watch that video, I think, because I'm not going to cover all this again. But yeah, we're going to have the two colors again in the 100-gram plates, and this batch is actually slightly smaller than the first one we sold, and the first one was gone quite quickly. So even though I really don't like to say this, but with my limited ones I prefer to still inform you that they are usually gone quite fast, and I want to rather inform you and say this even though I don't really like it, because it always feels like I'm putting pressure out or anything. But I'd rather tell you this than having wrong expectations, and then someone comes, thinks it stays around for a long time, and then someone's coming wanting to purchase something and sees that it's sold out. So I'd rather say please be on time for the shop update if you want to get something of this yarn, because even though the batch is not super small that I'm having, it's slightly smaller than the last one, and that one was gone a little bit faster than I thought. So this is the last chance, and so I recommend to be on time for the update. And enough of the slightly pressury talk. I really don't like to say this, but I have a little special all around Thrive this time, because I should maybe explain this a bit. If you've purchased Nutiden from Hönner och Eier before, you will know that they will have some plates that are not completely 100-gram plates. And that happens in the spinning process when the batch is made ready and is wound into the cakes, and then at the end of one batch there are some leftovers, and those are getting spun into cakes as well, or not. It's not spun because it's an unspun, but it's wound into cakes or plates. And these are not full 100-gram plates normally. So the problem is that I won't sell those to you in single plates, because they are all different weights. So there are some with 70 grams, some with 80 grams, some with 50, some with 90. And so I decided to make little packages where we pre-weigh and pre-pack the yarn in each colorway, and so you can purchase little packs of those so-called mill ends. That's just how they are called. And that way we don't waste those, because with the machinery of my mill, there are quite some of those mill ends, and it would be a pity to just waste those, because I mean, it's such a precious yarn, and what shall I do with so much of it that just doesn't have the right format to sell it? So I decided to make these little packs, and they are going to be available in 500 gram increments, so you can make a sweater for yourself out of it, and they will look a little something like this. Look at the size of this package compared to my head. But yeah, there will be these little sweater packets, and they will have a little bow and little label so you know what's in there. The individual cakes in there won't be labeled, but you'll have the label on in the front of the little parcel or package. And this one is of course fully plastic free in packaging, as all my packaging is. But yeah, I just wanted to give you an idea of what to expect when you purchase one of these packs. And yeah, they are all 500 grams at least, so it might sometimes be that there's even more in there, so up to 550 or something, just because the weight of the mill ends is so varying that I have to see how much I can weigh to get as close to 500 as I can. But yeah, we'll have those packets and yeah, these little sweater quantity bags for sale as well, and they will be, in comparison to the 100 gram plates, they will be slightly cheaper, and yeah, so you're getting more for your money, especially because they're mostly also a little bit more than 500 grams. You're only paying for the 500 grams, and also it's a bit discounted in comparison to purchasing single plates. So yeah, I just thought this little special would be nice for you, and also of course nice for me, because I wouldn't want to waste the mill ends, because I mean the yarn is perfectly fine, it's just the same as the cakes, it's just the cakes are smaller, so they are slightly less, so it's nothing wrong with them. You can knit with them perfectly fine, there's no difference, and it might just be that you have 7 in there instead of 500 gram plates. So that's how this is going to work. And yeah, only thing I should mention, only downside to this is that the I cannot ship them with our new cheaper shipping method, just because this shipping method is limited to certain box sizes, because this new shipping method uses the postal system and not the parcel system like DHL and such does, and therefore they have limits to the box sizes that you can ship with this method. And with the limit of these box sizes, if I go with the maximum, I cannot fit those huge packets in there, even though I could, like, even if I would squish them, I don't think they will fit in there. And so I decided, also because I don't want any damaged parcels or something, I decided to ship these only with the tracked and insured shipping method. So sorry, but I cannot help it, it's not gonna work, because yeah, the maximum box size that I can fit into the cheaper shipping option is only fitting up to 4 cakes of our unspun yarn or 5 skeins of our regular yarn bases. So I can't put the sweater packs in there, but yeah, since you're still saving something on the sweater packs, I think it could be worth it, especially if you're ordering from the EU, because the new cheaper shipping is not that much cheaper than the tracked and insured shipping. So yeah, I think it could totally be worth it, and yeah, I hope they will make you happy. And yeah, I try to wrap them like little parcels or little presents even, so I hope they will be a nice little special for you. Yeah, I think that is it so far with the little yarn chat for today. as mentioned, the shop update will be next Friday, 8 p.m. GMT +2. I'm also going to put reminders on my Instagram, and if you're signed up for my newsletter, I will also send out a little reminder with a direct shop link, so you can get reminded once it goes up. I know it can be confusing with time zones and such, so yeah, that's what I'm gonna do, and I think that is it. Yeah, as mentioned, especially if you want to purchase some of our Unspun yarn Thrive, just please maybe consider being on time. Yeah, because I don't know how long this batch will last. I mean, we're in the summer, and of course not everyone is in the mood for a woolly yarn, but yeah, I cannot say how long I'm going to have this still, so yeah, maybe consider being on time. And I should maybe mention that I also summed up all the shipping info on our shipping page. I updated everything with the new cheaper shipping method and everything, because I know it can be quite confusing with the whole weight and weight thing and weight-based shipping and stuff. But I tried to put all the rates there, how much it is to your country, and how much I can ship with this method. But just in case you want to be prepared and you're not sure about something, feel free to send me an email. That's hello@woollentwine.com, and I'm also going to link my email down below. That is definitely the easiest way to reach me. I know some of you prefer Instagram DMs, that's fine too. I'm pretty active there as well, but recently I've received a few messages on Ravelry, and that's just not a platform I monitor at the moment, and I'm not really a fan of Ravelry so much, so that's definitely not somewhere where I can guarantee I'm going to answer very quickly. So I would recommend either sending a DM on Instagram or writing me an email. You can also use the contact form on my website if that's easier for you. But yeah, I'm also available all week to help you with color combinations in case you need any help, or if you need any info on the Unspun, because I know it can be tricky to calculate yardage and everything. I cover that topic in the dedicated video as well. But still, if you're unsure about how much to order or anything, or if something is enough for the project you have planned, feel free to message me, and I'm going to help you with that as well as I can. But yeah, I think we're done for today, and I hope you enjoyed this little preview. Let me know which one's your favorite colorway. I'm really curious, because I can never predict that, even though I've had quite a few shop updates until now, but I can never predict which ones are going to be your favorites, and so I'm always curious. So let me know what you like, and yeah, I'm just really excited. One more thing I have to mention is that I'm still not able to sell to the UK below the order minimum of 160 euros, which is I think 135 pounds around, excluding the shipping. And the background of that is that I'm not going to go in depth about what it's all about, but I have to wait to be registered for a VAT number in the UK to be able to sell below that order minimum. And I'm waiting for this registration for months by now, and it's just not coming. And unfortunately, this is normal, and they are they're just having a lot of requests ever since Brexit has happened. So yeah, I guess there's nothing I can do. I just have to wait. But once that changes, I'm definitely going to let you know about the minimum order amount when I can omit it. But until now, until then, we'll have to stick with the 160 euros. That is the order minimum at the moment. And just in case someone orders below that, I unfortunately have to cancel the order immediately, because I'm just not allowed to ship that. But maybe you can also, if you cannot reach that amount or you don't want to or whatever, I'm not judging. Maybe you can find a friend, a Fibery friend to combine the shipping with or to order together with. I don't know if that's actually possible, but yeah, if I can help by connecting people, I'll gladly do. I know this is kind of annoying and it's quite a high amount to spend, so I'm 100%, I 100% get that this is not everyone's cup of tea, but yeah, until I get my registration documents, I guess I cannot change it. But yeah, as soon as I get them, I'm going to scream it all everywhere because I'm just really eager to be able to sell to my beloved UK customers without this annoying stuff. So anyways, long story short, UK shipping is only for 160 euros minimum plus shipping, so you have to spend the 160 euros and then the shipping is on top. But yeah, that's how we're going to do it. Yeah, and until then, I'm looking forward to see what colorways you will choose, and I hope I can help one or two of you with their color choices. And yeah, see you next Friday for the shop update. Happy knitting. Bye!